No mai, haere mai, mā loi lele. Welcome to 3 News. The Finance Minister gave her pre-budget speech today and the message was clear. Winter is coming. More cuts are on the way to government spending and there's less money to fund new initiatives. In her words, it will be a no lolly scramble budget. And while those words were still echoing, news broke that Fonterra could be cutting 120 jobs in its dairy heartland of Waikato. Here's senior political correspondent Jenna Lynch.
A 7 a.m. cuppa on the factory floor, complete with a spread of pigs in a blanket. Who could ask for more?
You do everything.
The Finance Minister choosing not to do her big budget speech in a boardroom, rather a lower hut factory.
Because places like this are the engine room of the New Zealand economy.
And that economy is in need of a tune-up. A Financial Services Council study released today found 55% of New Zealanders worry about money daily or weekly. No surprise to those we asked in Christchurch.
I went to the supermarket last night to just buy some snacks, which you kind of think are a cheap option, and I got to the checkout and I paid $40. And I was like, what?
Buy a couple of things and walk out and it's $100 and you're like, that's where I got 5 things.
Whether it's lunches for your kids or paying the mortgage or insurances, which are massive, not many people have got disposable income left for enjoying life.
I just think unemployment is probably the biggest worry for most New Zealanders, yeah.
That worry hitting home in Hamilton tonight after Fonterra announced plans to close its milk powder packaging plant in Te Rapa. 120 jobs on the line, 120 more families extra worried about money tonight.
The pain is still rippling through our communities. Kiwis feel it, and the higher prices they still pay for almost everything, and higher levels of unemployment, and in some struggling local businesses.
A sluggish economy with global uncertainty making the Finance Minister's job this year even harder.
Let me be blunt. It's not the easiest time to be delivering a budget.
Come May 22, the Finance Minister will unveil her second budget, and just as we've all recovered from the Easter chocolate-induced sugar high, she's taking candy off the table.
I can confirm today that there will be no lolly scramble in this year's budget.
That's perhaps an understatement. Nicola Willis announcing today she's cutting the operating allowance, the new money she's allowed to spend, by over $1 billion.
The government has reduced the size of our budget 2025 operating allowance to $1.3 billion.
This is absolutely an austerity budget. Didn't work for the UK, won't work for New Zealand.
At the half-year update just before Christmas, Treasury forecast that the government would spend $2.4 billion. It also noted that $1.6 billion of that had already been pre-committed to mainly health initiatives, including the $600 million cancer drug promise. That means that the government has already committed to spending $300 million more than it set itself aside to spend. Therefore, any extras, which the government is promising, will need to be funded by cuts. And yes, the Finance Minister says she's found some.
The way we've created more room is through our savings and reprioritisation program. That's generated billions of dollars that gives us the room to make the investments that are really needed.
We can't cut our way to greater prosperity. We can't cut the health system further. We can't cut the education system further.
I can look every New Zealander in the eye and say, your hospitals will be getting more funding, your schools will be getting more funding, there will be investment in infrastructure, there will be investment to keep businesses growing, and there will be some targeted cost of living relief. So I can do all of those things in a smaller operating allowance, and so it's right that I do.
That's a long shopping list for her maxed out government chequebook.
So Jenna, these budget cuts, will Willis be bringing a scalpel or an axe?
Well, that is the multi-billion-dollar question. The Finance Minister said she had found billions in savings, but she wouldn't put a number on that today. On the one hand, she will have had the ACT Party handing her the axe. On the other hand, New Zealand First handing her the scalpel. And while there was some early speculation in this year's budget around whether or not there might be extra revenue measures, particularly speculation around a charities tax, the Finance Minister put the kibosh on that today. So she will be relying on cuts to fund the rest of her budget. Now, there are a couple of ways she can do that. One is through contingency funding. Basically, that is money that's been allocated to government departments but hasn't been spent. That's pretty easy to get back into the government books. The other way is the government looking for specific programs to cut, and that is the more politically risky way to do things. Think back to last year when they cut the first home buyer grant by surprise. Thousands of would-be first home buyers scrambling to get a deposit together following that. There are a few things that will be off the table for cuts while Winston Peters is anywhere near this building. Messing with the superannuation age or anything to do with super is a no-go. The Prime Minister has also ruled out asset sales, but we will have to wait until May the 22nd to find out whether Nicola Willis has decided to bring a scalpel to a wood-chopping fight or an axe to the operating room.
Yes, a few more weeks. Jenna Lynch, thanks so much.